Hey everybody, it's Modem Monday and I'm DJ, and this month we are going to do a special request. So one of our viewers by the name of Ryan has asked to see a Livermore wood box modem. So that's exactly what we're going to cover this month, which is the Livermore Model C. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. And this is the Livermore Model C modem. As you can see, that is made of wood, first of all, with some brass finish trim on it here and there, little leather handle, a couple of lights sticking out of the front of the case. Of course, it's got dovetail construction on the box itself. A little hole here for the cord to come out the side while you're using it. Little vent holes for ventilation down at the bottom. The old tea kettle style power cord, probably about 67 or 68 maybe. I haven't really dated it, but a little RS-232 connector there. Same thing on this side as far as the vent holes go. So one of the first things you'll notice whenever I open it up is that the foam that should be in the top cover here is all missing, and there's still some adhesive there. Some other things that were issues with this particular modem whenever I first got it are that the catch over here was bent up enough, and you can kind of see where it's marred the finish of the box here from being folded up in there, but it was bent up enough that it wouldn't come out on its own. And if you noticed, that's supposed to ride in the channel on the bottom there, and it lets you throw that open, and it keeps the lid from just flopping over. If that flips up, you can open it further, and it will of course stop whenever it hits 180 degrees. I'm going to leave it flipped like that, but then we're going to tilt it forward. Very simple design. And you can see immediately that there's only 3 controls: full or half duplex, originate or answer, and of course off and on. The other issue is that the rubber was very oxidized and had a whiteness to it that I had to scrub off and rejuvenate the rubber. Let's see here, 0038, model number C. Of course, it also says Model C on the front, and of course it says Livermore Data Systems. That is, in a nutshell, what the outside looks like. How about we open this guy up and I show you what the inside looks like. Okay, so I cut the camera off and I removed the screws. Not these screws, because removing these screws won't do us much good. This is just a plate that covers up the electronics that are underneath, and similar thing here. This is all the guts of the modem are actually underneath this panel, but it doesn't do us any good to remove that panel unless we need to take the wood box completely off. So there are a bunch of screws on the baseboard of the modem down here those are what end up getting removed, and then you can ever so carefully lift that up and off, and there we have it. That is the guts of the modem right there. Comprises of 5 cards, if not counting the backplane cards as well, and those are respectively, this is the originate side of the modem with the transmitter and receiver and the power. Of course, the power doesn't matter for answer or originate, but so this is the power card. This is the transmitter. This is the receiver for originate mode. And over here, you have the transmitter and the receiver for answer mode. I haven't looked up any documentation for this modem. I'm sure that somewhere it does exist, but someone at a previous point had gone in here, and if you notice the baseboard down there has written in what it is and which card goes into that slot. Likewise, if I was to remove this one out, you can see that it says receiver originate 2003. This is a 2003-1 LDS, Livermore Data Systems. These cards are very simple little cards. Not a whole lot to them. There are no integrated circuits on this modem anywhere. So, I mean, these 2 cards are the same cards that are on the other side, just these are tuned for working with the originate carrier and listening for an answer transmitter carrier when in originate mode. So I mean these are identical to those two cards over there. This one's a 2003. That one's a 2003. This one's a 2002. That one's a 2002. So you definitely don't want to accidentally put them on the wrong side, otherwise your modem stops working because the frequencies that it's trying to differentiate or transmit are out of tune. But if you don't have all of this tuned just right, and you'll see this is 04, 03, 05, 06. The 2003 card over there is A4, A3, A5, A6. Because they're tuned to a different thing, and they want to make sure that people understand when they're servicing the modem that they're working on the originate side of the modem. Similar, there is nothing special at all about this power card. There's a transformer underneath the hump in the modem acoustic coupler right there. That's where the voltage step down happens from line voltage. Very, very simple device. Look at that from the top again. And then you can take a look up inside there and you can see the connections for the switch. Again, this is fuller half duplex answer and originate. Now, obviously the rubber of the couplers themselves is set up so that there's not a whole lot of transduction of sound from the bass up into the coupler itself. Livermore just wanted to make sure that you had as much physical attenuation to the room noise as possible. Okay, and in order to demonstrate this modem, I decided to choose my trusty Hazeltine 1500 terminal. Why the Hazeltine? Why not? So we'll go ahead and fire it up. I'll go ahead and open up the modem here. While that's warming up, I want to demonstrate something. If I turn the modem on, it's going to squeak. Now, hopefully you heard that. And if I turn it off, it'll squeak again. I'm not exactly sure why it's doing that, but since the last segment, whenever I hooked this thing up to start using it, I found that it actually was not functioning properly at all. And I had to tear it back apart again and give it a tune-up. Now, I can't find a single shred of evidence that there was ever actually any documentation for this. Surely there was, but it doesn't seem to exist on the internet today. For whatever reason, I can't get this modem to work at 300 baud. I always assumed that it would work at 300 baud because I have other Livermore acoustics that work at 300. This one does not seem to want to, no matter how I tune it. It works flawlessly at 110 now, but it does not work at 300 at all. Now, either that means that the circuit was never designed to work at 300 in the first place, or because it's entirely comprised of germanium transistors, some of those transistors may be out of spec, and that may be contributing to the problem. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and fire up the modem. We will go ahead and pick up the phone, and I will put it up to the microphone here. And I'll set that down in the cradle. And close the lid. And we are now connected at 110 baud on a video terminal. So in order to demonstrate this, we need to connect to something from the annex, and either I can directly telnet to something out on the internet, or I can connect to one of my local modems. So let's try connecting to one of the 300 baud modems from my pool. And so from here, let's call the BBS. And that one is on extension 1140, so we just dial it directly. And since I'm connected to a 300 baud modem, that means that the BBS isn't going to get too far away from us as far as what it's transmitting to the annex. It'll be running at about twice the speed as what we're seeing here, but it'll be close enough. And that's very funny that it thinks it's connected at 300 baud. There's no way for it to know. And since a Hayes modem or Hayes compatible modem, which is what the BBS uses, does not have the ability to sense what speed it is at 300 and below, all it'll tell the BBS is connect. And unless the BBS has a baud rate detection, whenever it says that, there's no way that it's going to be able to tell that it's 110 baud. And most BBSs of the era that my BBS is would not have ever assumed that you were connecting at 110. So let's go ahead and log in, and I'll have to blur out my fingers while I type my password. And I'm not going to be doing any syshopping, so I will just let's jump into the modem discussion, which is kind of what I do each time that we're doing one of these demos, and make a post on there about what modem we're demonstrating today. Okay, so I'm going to cut it off right there. I mean, I've probably already said enough about this modem, and I know 110 baud can be very boring for most people, but you know, that seems to be the best that this modem can do. Like I said, this was by special request from Ryan. He has to do a Livermore modem, and I just happened to grab this one because there was no other like it on the internet. And now that I know that there's no documentation out there for it, I can understand why that might have been the case. Also, the fact that it only does 110, that could have stopped a lot of people from demonstrating something like this in the past. If you have a Livermore Model C and you know for a fact that yours does 300 baud, please let me know. If you have any documentation for it, please let me know. I'd be interested in any shred of anything about that modem. As always, I have tons and tons of modems. If there's a modem that you had whenever you were a kid and you want to see that thing in use again, just for nostalgia's sake or for any other reason, please let me know. I will grab one down off the shelf and do it. Otherwise, next month I'll just pick one and we'll go from there. And starting this month, I have set up a Patreon account. It's not that I expect to ever get rich or something like that off of Patreon, or even be able to support myself and quit my job or anything. But you never know. As the channel grows and I start covering more things, I may start getting more interest from different people, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to build a video like this. So if you enjoy what you're seeing, I would love it if you would go down into the description for the video and click on the Patreon link and just send me something, you know, anything. YouTube ad revenue is not what everybody seems to think that it is for most of the YouTube creators out there. I believe that YouTube and Google only pay you out once you hit like $100. At the current rate that I've been going at since I started this channel, long before I even rebooted it, I should expect to probably get my first $100 within about 15 more years. So, you know, if you like what I'm doing here, if you want to help support me, please click on the Patreon link and just send me a few bucks every month. That's a great way to say thanks for all the effort that I put into this. And if you can't afford it, so be it. Just click like, click subscribe, leave me comments down below. Let me know what you'd like or dislike about what I'm doing here. And if you have any ideas about what I should do next. So I will continue to try to do my best to pump these videos out as frequently as I can. As you know, I've only been doing one a month pretty much since I rebooted the channel, which is far more frequent than what I've been doing in the last several years. I'm trying to come up with ideas of what to do, and so, you know, if you have an idea, let me know, and maybe I can do it. That's it. Hope you're having a happy Modem Monday, and I'll see you next month. Bye.